interesting. I thought it really had a very interesting. The feature had a very interesting way of telling the story. There's an Antonioni film called Blowout.
Oh yeah.
And it kind of it reminded me of that. It was sort of that kind of meditation of
what's real and what isn't.
And then sort of like.
Did I see this?
Yeah. The idea of a fantasy world or whatever, and noticing. I mean, again, my film's totally more of a traditional narrative. I'm seeing a lot of young people making films about the internet, and they're kind of crazy.
Yeah, they jump
all over the place because that's how our world is now. Everything, we tell stories from our phone. Everybody's looking on their phone. And look at the phone more than look at the real world, and they get sucked into a different reality.
On the bus, and I'm the only one actually looking around. Everybody else is like this.
But it's thrilling meeting you guys. I was inspired by your story too.
Oh,
we love our number one fans. We love our number one fans.
Can I get a picture of you guys?
We are not. Go to that film because it's going to be a good film.
Well, I hope so.
It's always worked out that way.
It's interesting.
So great expectations.
Oh no. Okay. What's interesting though is I didn't make this film. The film I made, I didn't make to make money or to sell it, or I didn't. My aspirations were not to be, it wasn't an ambition. I'm at a certain age, I'm 48, I get to a point where it's like, I want to make something that is important to me. Tell a story.
It's a personal story.
And then you end up using the skills that you learn. I've spent the last 20 years learning, how to use a camera, how to use the right lenses, how to make sure the production design's right, how to work with actors, and then you start using all those skills that you learn to tell a story that's important to you. I tell filmmakers, don't worry about the market, don't worry about trying to sell your film, because the most important is to do something that's important to you.
Right.
Because it takes 3, 4, maybe even 5 years to make a movie.
Yeah, it's a long.
And if you're gonna stick with something, just stick with something you're passionate about, and don't just do something that's like a sellout or something that you feel is going to be for the market. By the time you make something for the market already moved to another direction.
Right.
So again, I appreciate. It would be great to see you, and I think that's what. Film festivals are important for, is sharing ideas, sharing stories with people.
That's one of the reasons why we like coming to see, because it is more about sharing the stories and people that are doing it for the love of the films.
Right, for the stories and for the films and for the business.
Yeah.
And also, I'm sure that with the larger festivals, the filmmakers are less accessible.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And the people, and it's more of a for the pomp and the it is about the business too.
Oh yeah.
A lot of times the studios are going to get behind presenting a film in a large scale area because they want to test market the film. They want to see how it plays. They want to see the reaction. They want to see how they're going to market the film.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they'll put a film in a festival so they can say, oh well, it skews for this demographic.
Right.
A festival like STIFF, they want to push boundaries.
Right. That's what we're looking for. Something we wouldn't normally see.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It is.
Enjoy it.
And have you ever seen the movie? Actually, it's a documentary called The Aristocrats.
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
I've got a story to tell you about The Aristocrats tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
It's a pretty funny one too. When it really gets down to it.
We'll have a safe drive back.
Oh yes, yeah, we will.
Gotta go walk our dog.
Yeah, I'm gonna post your picture up. Is that okay?
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, you guys are gonna be famous.
Wow.
It was our dog who was famous.
Really?
Yes. The one thing that we just truly loved about SIF was the Sunday Secret Festival. And for 4 weeks in a row at noon, they would show a movie that they could not announce what the movie was.
Okay.
You would just show up and they
couldn't commercially advertise it.
Or, yeah.
So it was a secret.
A secret, and then you actually
For
had to.
about 500 people.
Yeah, you actually had to go sign forms and everything to get the passes.
Yeah.
And we were bringing our first Greyhound. We're on our third one now.
Wow.
Bringing our first Greyhound to this, and we'd park in the Seattle Central Community College garage
Where it was cool.
where it was cool, so we could leave him in the car while we were at this film. But before we do that, I would walk the line with him.
Oh, walk the red carpet.
And
oh,
and
okay.
The people would line up for like an hour beforehand
yeah.
to get seats. So there'd be a line around the theater
And so
an hour beforehand. So
everybody
she'd
loved
walk.
Isaac.
She walked him and he
They
visited all the people.
adored Isaac. And then we lost Isaac. His name was Bud. And we actually specifically got him about a week before the festival because we knew we couldn't show up at the festival without a dog. And he ended up, he was all over the internet because I had made him a fake pass.
Oh, that's adorable.
I mean, a dog pass that said not to be used for films, but he wore it. And so he ended up all over the internet.
People would say, "Bring your dog to the film." He was the hit of the festival.
We'd have people, and people would go, "Oh, hi, Isaac," or "Hi, buddy," and you know.
He was
Yeah,
famous.
yeah, well, greyhounds are so I can see them, becoming. I'm gonna look it up. I'm sure I'll see it.
Probably.
Buddy.
Buddy. The actual aristocrat story involves Buddy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was really a real pleasure. Yeah. Just look me up on Facebook and I get disconnected. That's cool. We're gonna do a bunch of festivals.
Compound.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
And we're going to New York, we're going to Philly, we're going to
First grants?
Sacramento. And
What's Philly? Which Philly festival?
oh, it's Confest.
Oh, okay, so you're going to
So
the
Con TV has their own film festival now. So we went last year and we submitted. We went to Spirit of Comic Con.
Oh, cool.
So they've retooled their festival now. It's separate now from the Wizard World Comic Con itself, and it's its own entity. So Confest is its own film festival.
You should submit to web series for First Glance Gateway. Because you have a film that I know the distributor. I know the guy who runs it. I could put in a good word for you guys too. Yeah, I saw that already.
We have all of our stuff up. We send our EPK. I didn't see that.
We'll stay in touch and then I'll get you out if I can. I'm sort of taking a little bit of a route. With my film, I'm taking to some festivals and connecting with certain people, and I just feel that your film has such a high studio quality, which is something that a lot of people who have a lot of skill can achieve. So it's amazing, I'm not saying it's amazing that you achieve where you are, but
well, no, I don't know if that's a compliment. 4 years ago, we started with stories. So stories the first thing we had. The next thing we did was cinematographer. So we were going to shoot with 5Ds. CJ was going to shoot with 5Ds, and this is 4 years ago. So for the first one, which To Catch a Rat was the episode, we brought in two red ones.
Okay.
And that immediately elevated.
That's right.
But our production was small. We did confinement. We did the most confined script we had because that's all we could afford. Now, we're learning how to bring in all those tools, cinematography and obviously the gaffer. We always capitalize on performance because the story and performance are my watchwords as a director and actor. I've been acting for 26 years.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of a thing.
Digital dilettante.
Some people can, but again, I think in order to achieve a professional product, you have to learn all the elements. Production design, cinematography, lighting, performance, all of these things.
And post-production.
Amazing. Color.
And we had a post-production house for color. We had a post-production house for audio. We had a post-production house for 3D, for 2D. We had all of it separately, and then we had somebody do the score for it. So we have a score that goes throughout our series too. So that little ditty at the end. So we've been building that guy right there.
It's really amazing what you can do with color.
Yeah.
I never knew how much you could do with color until I started shooting 4K, 5K.
For the special, the 2D effects and the 3D effects we're using, a lot of that goes towards the acting. So in certain spots, it won't work without the right acting and stuff. She had a lot going on.
She does good face work.
Yeah. That brought it out. That's why it's on
I love that
So
eye
adorable.
thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
man.
crazy.
She wore that all day. So that
I got
big,
kinda
that big
liked
guy,
it.
Sleazy Pete, right? Our big superhero, didn't get the contact in. She champed it all
I
fucking
got
day.
kind of comfy with her actually.
It's interesting that you're.
Hi.
I'm saying.
Big
I mean,
brain.
you can play much younger.
35 to 70.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe even younger. Maybe
yeah,
30.
yeah.
Like my mom when Thanksgiving wasn't going so well. She had 7
So
children.
here's a cool story behind
That's
her.
acting.
So
That's acting.
we were holding audition originally, and so we brought in all of the talent that we could find in Seattle to audition for this role, and she's got to be a bigger, larger than life, woman. And so she knew this going in because she's sleeping with the director. But anyways, so she was reading against all of our sleazy beats and our markies for the day. And so all day long, it's her embodying this Ma Jones character. And every once in a while, Chi-Chi and I would go like, what is she doing? She's freaking amazing. And at the end of the day, Chi-Chi's like, why don't you do this?
Yeah.
And I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want it to seem like nepotism or something, you know?
It's probably the only case nepotism actually worked out.
Well, it killed, I mean, she killed it. I mean, really. I know
really.
acting. I'm a director. I'm into the craft, and so she exuded that. You know what I mean? She made it have brought it to life.
You know, it's funny when I was making this actor,
Yeah.
and I had this guy who played. There's like a heavy that he's more kind of a comical heavy that comes in like for a couple of scenes in the movie. He's like real tough and mean, but he had this power. I'm like, this guy is a real actor. Which is very nebbish, kind of totally opposite of his character. And it's like if you pick a real actor, they can transform and become. And that's my father's an actor, so I grew up in the business, so I know.
Who's your dad?
His name is Buck Cartalian, and he was in
LA actor.
LA actor. He was like New York, and then he came to LA. He was in Cool Hand Luke.
Yeah.
And he was in Outlaw Josie Wales. And he was in the original Planet of the Apes. He played Julius Keeper of the Cages in the Planet. So I was brought up with like a real, kind of instinctual actor. I understand what it's like.
Play on those lots when you were little, right?
Yeah, not only that, they can actually help you. So what I did was, when I cast the parts, two actors, we got together. The actual my connection to actors actually made it because
I love that. Acting camp before you go, right? I love that.
Yeah,
That's
well,
great.
no, but it was interesting because my actress was a more of a film actress, so she didn't understand the
Exercise.
yeah the extra she didn't understand. But then once she realized it, she realized you have a lot more power. The idea too is that you can.
That's pretty impressive. 9 days a day. Impressive.
Well, yeah, but
Really good
the
day.
thing is that
You wind them up.
you wind them up.
It's your choice.
You know that the actors are going to do.
Theater before you get it done there, right?
I like that approach. There's a lady here named
luxury.
Lynn Shelton. She's the director from Seattle. Her first film's called Hump Day.
Okay, yeah, no.
Yeah, so that's what she
My
did.
sister's
She just
sister
set up.
was.
She set up too. I just let him go.
And you know, my producer has made a film, and my cinematographer has made a film, and they've done the same thing. So I've created like a little school of understanding, respecting, and working with actors
Well, yeah.
in a way that
Most guys are so forward. This is how long we have to do it. Improv, go. And if you bring in real actors, they can do that. It's fine. I could sit and rip with her for hours. We do sometimes.
you have a certain badass power that you offer that is
She came to me. I was
whatever.
lucky that
I mean,
she came to me. But, it was a playground, like you said. You got your actors together and you got to play for like 3 months, right? Well, I had this playground where it was you're safe, you're supported, you're working with the best people.
Yeah.
So why not go?
Containment too. She's really contained. Like you could have gone anywhere. You could have overacted that part.
So that was your actual direction.
Well, it was your performance. That's what made it powerful to me.
it's very simple. Very simple.
Yeah, for me, as a matter of fact, is they gave you a little bit and then let your mind take care of it. Robert De Niro does that too with his
The
acting.
Mulholland Drive is very clever. I would like to go back and figure some of my questions
For Bristol
out.
Goodman?
Yeah.
You know what I would do?
Really, are we at 58% now? Because I gotta pee.
I think it was no. I think it was
Gag you're talking about?
yeah.
The book slowed it down. The book was like, how long is
It
this
should have been
movie?
like 78%.
No, it should have jumped. It should have jumped. Yeah, 25%.
Maybe you want to walk to the truck with me?
Hello. I'm Jason Cartalian. My film's called Seahorses. It's a film about two very unlikely people that meet each other that are dealing with a lot of problems, and they somehow find each other, and it becomes an unlikely romance. And I'm very pleased to bring this film to Seattle. It's a Seattle premiere at Stiff. So far, it's been a really amazing experience being here. This is the opening night. There's lots of alcohol and parties, and it's really a pleasure bringing the film to the Grand Illusion Cinema, which is a Seattle institution. And I'm very pleased to be a part of this festival.
And how do people find out more about your film?
We're at Facebook. We're Facebook Seahorses Movie. We're also on Twitter. If you look up Seahorses Movie on Twitter, you can also look up my personal site. My last name it's Jason Cartalian, Kartalian, and you'll learn more about the different festivals we've taken the film to. Just a simple Google will. But our film's called Seahorses. It stars Ian Hutton and Justine Washburger. Later in this month, it's May right now. We're going to take the film to Hawaii. We're playing the film at the Big Island Film Festival in Hawaii. May 24th. We're playing outside. This film has really surprised me. It's a little film. It's a very special film, and it's gone all around the world. And again, I'm so pleased to share it with Seattle.
Well, thank you very much for being on my TV show.
Cool, awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're gonna get out of the shade. This is our Seahorses artwork.
Beautiful.